Hi, everybody. I'm Alan. The name of this show is Alan Talking. Now, who's Alan? I want you to all know that I'm Alan and I'm nobody. But what I feel is that all of you are somebody. Now, I'm going to tell you some things I'm not. I'm not a professional journalist, okay? I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a jurist. I don't have any professional background in theater or any of the arts that some of these other people who are on doing these shows has. My purpose here is that I feel that all of you need a voice, and I want you to be the voice, because you're the somebodies whose voice that really matters. And we're going to take on a variety of topics to give you some thoughts that you can extrapolate on in your own mind and give us feedback on. One of the most important parts of this particular exercise is that we want your feedback on what we have to say here. Now, there are facts and there are not facts. I don't believe that there's any alternative facts. I believe we can have disagreements about facts, but I'd like to give you a voice that maybe you don't have, and you'd find comfortable hearing your voice reflected in mine. That said, we're going to present a variety of topics, from some local issues that we find important to many of the national issues. Now, these issues may not always air right after they've happened. They may be a little bit later. They may be right after the day they've happened. It's just the nature of how we're conducting this operation. So, that said, there are a few issues I'd like to start with, and one of them is local because it hasn't been covered that much in this particular venue, which is book banning. Now, book banning has been all over the place. We've all heard about it. People are upset about it. Some people think it's a great idea. Well, you know, that was one of the things that happened under Hitler, okay? And book banning is against the Constitution as far as freedom of speech goes. Anybody should be able to write whatever they want to write, and it's your right to either read it or not read it. But book bans are an imposition of one person's thought process on other people's thought process, and we need to have open opinions and be able to deliver to people what other people's opinions are, and they can make up their own mind based on what they're reading. And if they can't get access to the material, then they can't have opinions. And I think that's what the proper way to handle this is. Now, I'm not suggesting that we have 4-year-olds being, fourth graders looking at anything that is intended for middle schoolers or for high schoolers. But certainly certain stories are appropriate for them, and I think it's really up to parents to monitor what children are reading anyway. So for our first foray into the world of politics, an article that was reprinted in Chester County Ramblings from the Philadelphia Inquirer is about Radnor Township in Pennsylvania. Now, Radnor Township School District is banning books. What's next? Branding students they don't feel are normal according to Planned Parenthood? Really? Come on. Radnor bans 3 books in response to a parent's challenging, including gender queer. So recently we had an attendee at this meeting, and a gentleman by the name of Mr. Lake. He is the instigator of this book ban, and he presented his opinions about it, which are constitutionally protected. And we'd like to give you a short video of what he had to say.
Good evening, Radnor School District Curriculum Committee Board members. I am Michael Lake of Bryn Mawr, father of 2 minors at Radnor High School. I take issue with previous public comments glossing over the sexually explicit images in the challenged books and this school board ignoring its own policy. Dr. Batchelor, thank you for having the courage to send an email to high school parents containing the shocking images from the challenged library books. They were eye-opening. At the last curriculum meeting, One faculty member said that the issues of these books containing images of minors engaging in sexual acts was an issue of complexity. Reading requires words for the readers to draw his or her own mental pictures, exercise the imagination. The right to read is not a right of minors to view pornography. The images in the email from Blankets, Fun Home, and Genderqueer are gratuitous and fail the U.S. Supreme Court Justice's pervasive vulgarity test. Since 2021, concerned parents were repeatedly advised to refer to Board Policy 144.1 to challenge and request review of books. In the challenge at issue, Dr. Batchelor stated that this policy was followed. The vote by Radnor educators to remove Blankets, Fun Home, and Genderqueer was 5-1. 83% of the committee members found the books age inappropriate. Case closed. Why are we still discussing this? To those who say these books won literary awards, please consider the Columbia Journalism review of a periodical which contained more serious journalism and fiction than just about any other magazine publisher. They published extensive interviews, compelling profiles, deep dive investigations, short stories, and essays. The archives are a trove of journalistic might and fascinating fodder for anyone interested in writing, culture, or politics. This periodical is Playboy magazine, not available in school libraries. Why is that? There are countless affirming books that do not contain pervasive vulgarities. Dr. Batchelor's email stated that a high percentage of new additions to the collection are affirming. Here is a short list of state and federal laws passed to protect minors. Pennsylvania Code 18, Section 6312 states that cartoons do indeed count as pornography. And I quote, "Any person who distributes, transfers, displays, or exhibits to others any book, magazine, pamphlet, slide, photograph, film, videotape, computer depiction, or other material depicting a child under the age of 18 years engaging in a prohibited sexual act or in the simulation of such acts commits an offense."
Mr. Lake just made his comments. You heard what he had to say. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with what he had to say, but that's not the most important thing here. What we need you to do for us is to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, please leave your comments, because while this is Alan talking, Alan is your voice. We want your voice to be heard, and we want to be able to let you give your feedback to us, and we can air it for you. Again, this is Alan talking. Thank you. Quick update to this story. The banned books in the Radnor Township Library are back on the shelves. Genderqueer, Fun Home, and Blanket have returned to the bookshelves due to the concerned efforts of the school board and the good people of Radnor. Cooler heads prevailed, and freedom of speech is no longer impinged.